Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Ali in this incarnation, and I am here to talk about the full moon in Sagittarius that we are going to have on June 11th. This is going to happen in the degree 20 with 39 minutes. We could consider this degree 20 of Sagittarius. And well, it is going to involve all the modalities, all the signs, because we have activations in, cardinal, fixed, and mutable signs. So this is going to activate different things depending on your natal chart, of course. Sagittarius is a mutable sign, also, so it is the sun in Gemini. So we have important aspects that are developing that certainly I'm going to deepen in other videos. I don't think that I am going to be able to deepen all in this. So as I said, Sagittarius is a fire mutable sign associated to expansion, the exploration beyond our limits, a comprehension of the sense of the human experience. It is also the knowledge that amplifies our perception of reality, the answers that we are seeking for the questions of Gemini. They are a complementary axis, an opposite complementary signs. And well, we have to understand that the answers are not fixed. That's why they are mutable, because we always have to develop a disposition to a higher truth regarding the things that we already know. It is about moving forward, incarnating this quality of eternal apprentices, which is an archetype of Gemini, but also, for example, to teach to other people is a way of keep learning. And well, the master is the archetype of Sagittarius. It is also about moving forward through ways, visions, and ideals that respond to something that truly has a purpose for oneself, that inspires us a higher sense. So in order to have a full moon in Sagittarius, we always have to have a sun in Gemini. And it happens that the regents, the rulers of both of them, Mercury and Jupiter, are in a conjunction in Cancer. Jupiter, it is in the degree 0 by the moment of the lunation. And the degree 0 of Cancer is a degree of the purest energy of the sign. Therefore, there is a conclusion, there is something that we are closing in here, a moment of manifestation, of bearing the fruits of illumination, which are all the full moons. But at the same time, we are opening up new and big possibilities. And both of them are in a square with Saturn and Neptune in Aries. So the tensions between Jupiter and them are going to be perfected days after. This is the reason why we don't feel a full moon one day, but it is an event that is developed through many aspects that start before or are perfected after. Well, when we have two planets in conjunction, and this applies for your natal charts, the closer they are, the more difficult it is to separate the functions of them, of each one of them. We have a separation of 4 degrees in this case. Jupiter is in the degree 0, and Mercury is going to be in the degree 4 of Cancer. And this has, its negative and positive polarities. Everything has its lights and its shadows. Mercury rules the processes of the mind, the organization, the way that we can put it into words our ideas, processes the decisions that we have to take to the practice. And Jupiter is the vision to the horizon. It is also the trust in what the processes are presenting, and it could be an ideal towards we want to move forward. So one of the polarities of this conjunction could represent like an excessive expectation over something, both from a positive or negative aspect. That's why it is important to identify when we are in the polarities to find the path, the middle path. On one side, we could have the optimism. I mentioned this mechanism many times because it is one of the shadows of Jupiter. The optimism that operates as a denial of reality. We are, putting aside key points. We are overlooking details that respond to the function of Mercury, because Jupiter is the focus on the whole panoramic view. It is the focus in the future. Or could be vice versa, that thoughts, beliefs, and emotions, when we talk about Cancer, are making us perceive reality in a very negative way. This doesn't respond to Jupiter, but this responds to the squares with Saturn. Saturn, it is the one that many times in this low energy could be this negative perception or the perception of limitation. The integration of this, it is to connect, I believe that is to connect with the certainties in the here and now, through the step, the decision that we need to assume, and what is being opened. This could also be intensified because this full moon has also squares with the karma nodes, Pisces, Virgo, which are indicating that this requires a surrender from ourselves, a surrendering to life itself, to our inner voice. This could imply letting go of a mental planification that we were making, things, habits that we were sustaining, or a pretension of the experiences to be exactly as we are expecting from our mind, because not everything that the mind is planning or pretends is the best for oneself. So these notes are inviting us to open up to what life want to show us through this Piscean energy, and to connect with the essential, with the essence inside of ourselves and regarding the environment. Without love, every material experience turns into something that is empty. And the energy of Pisces, it is very linked with that, with the universal unity, with love, with the collective emotions, with the unification, and we get in touch with that, not by force and unification with everyone and everything, but by reconnecting with our own soul in the here and now. So the square with Saturn in Aries, Saturn is the planet of boundaries, limits, constructions, maturity, responsibility, the action in Aries, the action taken to the material plane and its consequences, whether if we are perceiving them as negative or positive. Also, beginnings that imply responsibilities in the long term. And Neptune, it is the superior intuitive level, the divinity that reveals through us if we allow it. So this leads us to this great questioning of conditionings, acquired conditionings, to be able to build and to move forward in this direction that responds to this spiritual dimension of the soul. And certainly what we have to approach right now could challenge what made sense until this point for us in the plane of forms. We could be we could be aware through this process of limited beliefs that have turned into dogmas in which we have made identity. And these beliefs with Jupiter in Cancer are not only operating in a mental level, they are also they could be rooted in our emotional body. It could emerge sadness, fear, melancholy, emotions that could be overwhelming and that could emerge from experiences of the past and from other lives, even familiar situations that are conditioning us in the present moment, or experiences that we don't want to repeat. But if we are doing things operating in the fear, operating with base in the fear of something to happen, what we are truly doing is giving energy to that fear and not opening ourselves to the new and benefic possibilities that are linked with Jupiter. Although everything, no matter how we are perceiving experiences, are a possibility, is a possibility. So emotions could be overwhelming, the more that we are opposing ourselves to our soul, the more that we are going against to what we feel intuitively that we need to do. And with Saturn and Neptune in Aries, also anger could be something that is very present, and not only because of them, also there are other aspects that could activate a lot anger. So that emotion is going to give information of the things that we need to change or adjust. This tension, it is also a powerful opportunity to free ourselves from those internal limitations, so a new level of light and abundance and growth can manifest into our lives. And that light is going to take different forms in the plane of matter, according to what each soul needs in its path. Light are resources, light are the people to whom we feel truly connected. Light are the experiences that connect us with the freedom of the soul, which is the genuine freedom. So could be for other people that this tension with Saturn imply like external limitations, something is going like in a slower way, or there is scarcity in a certain area of life. And that frustration awakes us, or could awake those people to do something in a different way. Perhaps that thing that they have to do differently is to change the whole direction. Perhaps it is the way that is being approached those directions. Saturn in conjunction with Neptune is also to put a boundary to what is an illusion, to what responds an illusion disconnected from reality, and at the same time having the determination to build dreams. And that's why it is very important to discern, even if this could be painful, dissolve illusions, things that we were depositing our expectations, but that is what enables us to connect with true potentials that do align with ourselves. So whatever is the manifestation, if we are opening up to see the higher purpose of what is happening, we are going to discover that life is actually taking us to the most elevated direction, but depends on us to put resistances or not. That is going to make more complex the process. So the fire is the masculine energy that always expresses to the outside, and Cancer is the water, is the feminine energy. There is something in our emotional core, in our inner world, in our vessel that needs to change and to expand, so we can receive that light and we can offer also that to other people. And we can connect to a higher sense and a direction in our life. We also have harmonic aspects, trying a sextile with, from the moon and the sun in Gemini, with Mars in Leo. So what is being opened is something that connects us with playfulness, with creativity. Mars, Leo, the energy of Leo, it is also linked with creations and children. There are many people that are expanding family. But mainly this is about irradiating our authenticity. What happens is that Mars is in a square with Uranus in Taurus. So this can mean that, there could be unexpected situations, radical cuts that are pushing us to the change, or that we need to put in this position resources, whether internal or external, new ideas in a creative way to generate changes and to move something that was stagnated. This tension in its lowest energy could be also taking radical actions, like exploding in situations, but from a childish space, from our angry inner child. And this is not to judge it, but to take it in account. Other important aspect is that Jupiter and Mercury in Cancer are creating sextiles with Venus in Taurus, which is this great fertility to move forward. And this means that these horizons are are opening up so we can truly enjoy them. We can feel pleasure in that process, because they are going to be connected with our genuine desires of the soul. But also Venus is in square with Pluto retrograde in Aquarius. So we have another tension of much intensity that, the topics that this involve is relationships of every kind, our relationship with sustenance, with resources, with our value, and these tensions with Pluto could activate, could emerge shadows, fear of losing, the attachments, possessiveness, the power that we are giving to other people or situations that are taking us away the freedom of reinventing. I don't know if I'm inventing that word, but renovating ourselves. So there is a transformation that we are going through in a certain level, a death of something that is pushing us away from recognizing our value and from creating enjoyment in the terrestrial experience, because that is the function of Venus. But we also have to understand that enjoyment and pleasure cannot be an escape of what we don't want to face, cannot be an escape of ourselves. We cannot escape, in fact, from ourselves. That is the shadow of Venus in Taurus. So it is also an aspect to give power to our capacity to rebirth, to illuminate shadows. I mean, recognizing what was unconscious, bringing that to light. It is a big part of the labor, but then we have to make choices in consequence with that, so we can actually see a manifestation in the material reality. So this is a renovation of our energy, very, very powerful, to open up to, for some people, new people, or experiences that are actually resonating with the self-love that we are all learning to cultivate in here. We are all learning to do this, so we can give and receive from that space. So harmonic aspects with Chiron in Aries that also have this full moon are supporting this promise, to know that there is no human being that don't have insecurities in some aspect, in some level. In fact, it is a healthy self-esteem to recognize them. The people that are pretending that they don't have vulnerabilities, that is a signal of lower self-esteem than the people that can actually recognize them, and even though to act and to move forward in the things that they need to do. So there is where we find our strength. So the other polarity, of course, is to block ourselves totally because of the fears, but this is a harmonic aspect that impulses us to go through those experiences in a more fluid way. Right. I am ending this video here. Thank you, everyone, and see you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.